2021 SBLive Washington virtual media days for high school basketball. Here with Todd Millis, I'm Dan Dickow. Our guests for this episode from Union High School in Southwest Washington, the GSHL, Coach Gary Mills and Lolo Weatherspoon. Appreciate the both of you joining us. We'll start with Coach Mills. Coach, you guys are finally back playing, one of the last states in the country to get the approval to play after the coronavirus pandemic. What has it been like this season coaching your team?
It's been joy, really. We started doing whatever the rules would allow us to do. Even back in June, I think we started working out, and then it's been a roller coaster of you can't share a ball, you can do 5-on-5, now you're wearing a mask, now nothing, but whatever was being allowed at the time, I felt like we stayed active and we were always doing something a couple times a week. And we just thought preparing for a season that might never come was better than not preparing and getting surprised and not being ready to go.
What was the biggest challenge for you to be a leader of a basketball program when you didn't know what was next?
I think the biggest challenge was, when the girls are in school, it's just so easy to pop, to have somebody pop in and talk to you. And during the pandemic, players and teenagers in general handled that in so many different ways that was just trying to be there as best I could without, being there too much or too often. I think that was the hard part, is knowing how much is the right amount to provide and to be there for them during what was an unprecedented time.
Lolo, been told that your game has really expanded over the last couple of years. You're going to have the opportunity to play at the college level at Seattle Pacific. Where have you made the most strides during the coronavirus kind of break? Because I've seen a lot of players who have been dedicated get better on their own during this time. Where have you gotten the most improvement out of?
Yeah, like Mills was saying, during the pandemic, he was trying to just get all of us players just with touches on the ball as much as we could, keep us invested in stuff. And especially for me, whether or not we had a season or not, I knew that I wanted to play at that next level. So I had to keep improving my game, whether we could have a season or not. So me and Mills would hit outdoor courts whenever we could and just work on my game. With my height, I grew a lot since sophomore year and stuff. So we were working on my post game a little bit, my shooting and my range, and just working a lot off the dribble and stuff. And yeah, we spent a lot of time on those outdoor hoops. So it's nice to be back in the gym.
This is a Union team that went to the 4A state semifinals last year, lost to the team that won it all in Central Valley. After a long layoff, Gary, Lolo, the challenges of trying to recapture some of that momentum from such a great year, what were they?
Well, I look back at that. I still haven't watched that Central Valley game, and I don't know when I will. To get to where we did in the semis, we won a state championship with Mako when I was with him, and it's just so hard to get there. And to get to the semis and then to not get it done. There were some times when I would get depressed about in the off season. We had such good players. How did we not win it? And my buddies would say, "Dude, you almost did. Relax. You did the best you could." But those players, some of those great players that were on the team are gone. We have some players back, but every team is different, and you can't compare the team we have now to that team. All you can do is stick with the principles that you had that got you there, and those principles now are just gratitude, being grateful that we're in a position. We've already played 4 games so far this year, and then just loving the experience. You literally don't know if it's going to be for another week, 2 weeks, or a day. So just get the most out of it.
Well, you played alongside one of those players that your coach was talking about in Mason Oberg, an all-state point guard, fantastic senior season. She's now gone. How has your role with this team expanded over the last 14 months?
Yeah, it's definitely changed a lot. I would say Mason was the voice of our team last year, and her like game definitely kind of like what's the word, like
Raise the level of yours.
yeah, raise the level of my game. You know, like I'm going against one of the best players in the area every day in practice, like pushing myself to be better, like defensively, offensively. And so I definitely took in a lot of what she did, and kind of taking over that big role now is to it's a lot to handle, but it's fun. I know for me personally, just becoming more of a vocal leader, because I've always been a little bit silent, leading by example, but without having that big voice on a team, someone kind of has to fill that. So just keeping all my teammates together, especially when we don't really know how much we're going to get, and keeping everyone invested and excited for practice and games and stuff.
Coach, you mentioned that you were a part of Mako Hamilton's staff that won a state title a few years back. You were also with Blake Conley before you took over the girls side of the program. What is it about Union athletics that breeds success? Your program, the boys basketball program, the football program. When you talk to people in Southwest Washington, they always say Union has such a good culture in their athletic department.
Well, sometimes we have conversations and we kind of try to put our fingers on it ourselves and say, like, how did this happen? You know, what happened? But it is like what you said, success does breed success. But I also think some unique things for us have been, we have not had some of the parental challenges that maybe other schools have had. And however we've done it, we have gotten kids to buy into roles. I watched, when I was on the boys side, I watched kid after kid who was in that 9, 10, 11 spot come in, take their 5 minutes, do the best they could, and then just cheer the rest of the squad on. And I think that we have girls on our team that do that as well. And then, you know, it's one thing to say family and to say brothers and to say those things, but you have to define what that means. What does being a family mean? What does being a sister and a brother mean? And once you define that and players stick to that, I think that creates a lot of what it is. We also have had very smart players over the years, and whether that's luck or I don't know, but we've been able to make a lot of adjustments on the fly, and kids are able to pick that up and make some of the coaching staffs in both programs look really good when they've been very smart.
Sure. No, that makes a lot of sense. Lolo, I'm going to kind of put you on the spot here a little bit because it seems like you have a good coach-player relationship. When you or one of your teammates does something either in practice or in a game that, honestly, if you go back and look at it on film, it's a head scratcher, and you look over at the bench, what's the mannerism or what does Coach Mills do when you know something's not right?
Honestly, Mills, like I've had a lot of coaches that, you know, I'm scared to make mistakes. Like I played tentative, and I'd say like Mills came in my sophomore year, and that was definitely a turning point in my basketball, because he's all about like letting us play through our mistakes and kind of figure it out as we go, and also having the players coach each other up. Like he's never really been a big screamer on the bench or anything. So I know that if I make a mistake in the game or one of my teammates does, like just like I know Mills and all the other coaching staff are going to support us still. We just get back and try to get it back on D or whatever it is. So.
Gary, how would you describe the health of girls basketball right now in the Vancouver area, especially with the flux of really young talent at not only your school, but at Skyview and at Camas?
It's healthy. It's pretty healthy. And we have this 9-team league now going on, 3A, 4A combined. There's only maybe two or three nights out of those 9 teams where you're not going against somebody who's a Division I or a Division II talent. You know, even when we play Kelso, Division I, Natalie Fraley. When we play Prairie, Division II, going to Central, Claire High. It seems like every time there's like some great player, Katie Penuetta, Faith Bergstrom, that like you got to have a good game plan going in, or those people are going to go off. So I know it's like that in some other leagues as well, but it hasn't always been that way down here, and it's pretty healthy right now for sure.
Well, Coach, Lolo, we appreciate both of you guys joining us. Myself, as a Southwest Washington native, I know that girls basketball here has always been very good. So I appreciate that last question from Todd. So we appreciate that. But thank you for your time. I wish you guys nothing but the best of luck and health as you finish off the condensed and shortened season. And thanks again for joining our 2021 SB Live Virtual Media Day for high school basketball.
Absolutely. Thanks for
Thank
the
you.
invite.